What if I told you that the secret to making her chase you isn't about charm, money, or even confidence, but something far older and far darker? A forbidden psychological method used by Machiavelli himself that flips the rules of attraction and makes her obsessively hunt you down. This isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding a primal law hidden deep in human nature, the law of psychological reversal. Because when you master it, the game changes. You stop chasing, and she starts feeling an uncontrollable pull towards you. Today, we're diving into Machiavelli's most dangerous principle, the one that turns desire into obsession.
Every man is born with the same instinct, to chase. From the moment we first experience desire, we're taught to pursue what we want, to work for it, fight for it, prove ourselves worthy of it. But in the modern world, that instinct has become your downfall. Because when you chase her, attention, validation, or affection, you've already lost. Here's the truth no one tells you. In psychology, the one who seeks automatically lowers his value. The one who is sought after controls the frame. That's the law of power, and it's as old as civilization itself. When Niccolo Machiavelli wrote The Prince, he wasn't teaching kings how to be kind. He was teaching them how to control perception. Because control, in every social dynamic, is never about who has the sword, or the money, or even the title. It's about who appears less dependent. That principle is the foundation of what I call the psychological reversal. The moment when you stop chasing and she starts wondering why you're not. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to. You see, desire feeds on uncertainty. The human mind is addicted to tension, to the unknown, to the unpredictable. When you're too available, too eager, too expressive, you destroy the mystery that fuels attraction. The paradox is simple. When she knows she can have you, she stops wanting you. When she feels like she can't fully reach you, she starts chasing you. That's the reversal. Most men operate on emotional autopilot. They meet a woman they're attracted to and instantly fall into a submissive loop. They compliment too much, they text too fast, they explain themselves. They try to convince her to like them. That's not attraction, that's negotiation. And nothing kills masculine energy faster than trying to negotiate desire. Machiavelli would call that a fatal weakness because it exposes your need, and need is the enemy of power. The strongest men in history understood this instinctively. They didn't chase approval, they projected presence. They didn't talk too much, they allowed silence to work for them. They didn't explain, they embodied. Because silence creates tension. Tension creates curiosity, and curiosity creates pursuit. That's the psychological reversal in action. When you apply it, everything changes. Your texts become shorter, your tone calmer, your movements slower. You stop overreacting to her moods. You stop explaining yourself. You start carrying yourself like a man with options, even if in that moment you have none. You project the energy of non-urgency. You make her feel that your attention is not something to be earned, it's something to be granted. And the moment she senses that shift, her brain switches roles. She becomes the hunter. She starts asking questions. She starts initiating contact. She starts feeling a subtle imbalance, and her subconscious drives her to correct it. It's not manipulation, it's biology. The female mind is wired to seek emotional stimulation, and emotional stimulation thrives in uncertainty. When you chase, you remove that uncertainty. When you withdraw, you recreate it. That's why indifference, when authentic, is magnetic. It's not about playing games, It's about reclaiming control of your emotional energy. Let me make this clear. The reversal doesn't mean ignoring women or acting cold for no reason. It means controlling the rhythm of the interaction. Think of attraction like music. The pauses are just as important as the notes. Your silence, your patience, your composure, they create rhythm. And when you master that rhythm, she feels pulled toward you, even when she doesn't understand why. The reversal begins when you stop reacting to her behavior and start observing it. When you stop texting immediately. When you stop giving explanations she never asked for. When you stop rewarding inconsistent attention with instant replies. Because here's the hidden truth. Every time you respond out of impulse, you tell her, "I'm waiting for your validation." But every time you pause, you tell her, "You're not the center of my world." And that contrast builds psychological gravity. Women don't fall for words, they fall for the feeling a man gives them. If your energy says, "I need you," she'll feel pressure. If your energy says, "I'm complete without you," she'll feel intrigue. That's why the reversal isn't external, it's internal. It's not about fake tactics. It's about developing genuine detachment. You have to train your mind to be comfortable with distance, to understand that silence doesn't mean loss, it means leverage. That walking away isn't rejection, it's selection. Once you understand that, you become dangerous. Because now you're not reacting to her, you're leading the frame. She's emotionally invested in your approval, your attention, your validation, not the other way around. She's thinking about you when you're not around. She's checking your stories, wondering why you haven't texted. She's analyzing every word you said, replaying it in her mind. That's the psychological reversal fully activated. The weak man fears distance. The strong man creates it, because he knows that space amplifies desire. When she can't fully predict you, she starts chasing patterns, your moods, your tone, your timing. That chase triggers dopamine, the same chemical reward system that drives addiction. So when you withdraw just enough, she feels the loss. Her brain associates your attention with reward, and when that reward is uncertain, she obsesses over it. That's not game playing, it's human conditioning. You've turned the tables without saying a word. That's why I call it psychological reversal. It's not about doing more, it's about doing less strategically, intentionally, powerfully. Remember this rule. A man in control of his attention is a man in control of his world. The moment you give your energy too freely, you give away your power. Your time, your silence, your presence, these are currencies. The rarer they are, the more valuable they become. When you truly grasp that, you'll never chase again. Because you'll understand that attraction isn't something you earn, it's something you create through perception. That's how kings ruled empires without lifting a sword. That's how leaders commanded loyalty without shouting. And that's how you, in the modern world, turn the hunter into the hunted. Stop chasing, start leading. Stop seeking validation, start controlling perception. That's the Machiavellian reversal, and once you master it, you'll never look at attraction the same way again.
Power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's silent. Sometimes it's still. And that stillness can be louder than any speech. Machiavelli understood that true power doesn't need to be announced. It doesn't seek recognition. It simply exists, and its presence alone changes the behavior of everyone around it. When you truly grasp this,
You realize that most men lose before the game even begins. They talk too much. They explain too much. They try too hard to be liked, to be understood, to be approved of. They think dominance means display, that authority must always be visible. But Machiavelli knew better. He taught that the appearance of control was often more powerful than the act itself. The man who seems calm when others are reactive, silent when others are loud, composed when others are desperate, that man holds invisible power. Strategic silence is the first mark of that power. In a world where everyone is addicted to attention, silence has become rare, and rarity breeds value. When you pull back, when you choose not to fill every pause with words or noise, you create a vacuum, and nature hates a vacuum. People rush to fill it. Women especially, when emotionally engaged, can't stand uncertainty. When you go quiet, she starts thinking. When you withhold, she starts wondering. When you don't react, she starts chasing a reaction. That's the essence of strategic silence, the art of forcing others to reveal themselves while you remain unreadable. Every time you stop talking first, she fills the silence with curiosity. Every time you take your time to respond, she invests energy trying to decode you. Her mind becomes your battlefield, and your weapon is restraint. Most men lose control of that weapon. They mistake silence for weakness, thinking they must constantly communicate to keep interest alive. But interest dies not in silence, it dies in predictability. When she can predict you, she stops feeling you. Silence is only powerful when paired with presence, because silence without confidence looks like fear, but silence with confidence feels like dominance. Presence isn't about what you say or how much attention you demand. It's about how you hold yourself. It's your energy, your composure, the way your eyes move, the way your posture communicates self-possession. A man with presence doesn't need validation. He doesn't rush, doesn't justify, doesn't flinch. He knows his value, and that certainty is felt before it's ever spoken. You build presence by mastering your emotions. You stop reacting to noise. You slow down your movements, lower your tone, and eliminate nervous gestures. The slower you move, the more deliberate you seem. The fewer words you speak, the more they matter. Presence is the ability to make the air around you feel charged, as if every person near you senses that you could act at any moment, but you choose not to. That restraint is intoxicating. It makes people adjust their behavior to match your rhythm. It makes her lean in. Power, then, is the control of energy. Weak men leak energy through emotion, through over-explanation, through neediness. Strong men channel it. They conserve it. They release it only when necessary. That's why true power feels calm. It's not frantic or loud. It's collected, precise, contained. You don't show every emotion. You don't share every thought. You don't react to every provocation. You stay still. And that stillness unsettles her. She feels drawn in because your emotional state isn't determined by hers. You've separated your internal world from external validation. And that's the point when you become untouchable. Machiavelli taught that rulers must always keep people slightly uncertain, never too secure, never too sure of what comes next. Predictability breeds complacency. Uncertainty breeds fascination. And that's exactly how attraction works. When you become too predictable, she feels control. When she feels control, she loses excitement. But when you maintain just enough unpredictability,
when she can never fully read your mind, when your attention feels like a reward instead of a routine, she remains emotionally invested. This isn't manipulation, it's mastery of rhythm. Every relationship, every conversation has a rhythm, a tempo between speaking and silence, giving and withholding, advancing and retreating. Most men break the rhythm by over-giving, rushing the tempo, suffocating the dynamic with constant attention. But the Machiavellian man understands timing. He knows when to pull back and when to press forward. He uses silence not as withdrawal, but as tension. He knows that absence can make presence stronger. When you embody that, your energy begins to shift. You don't explain why you're quiet, you simply are. You don't seek to be understood, you let your composure do the speaking. Your lack of reaction becomes her obsession. She starts analyzing your tone, your words, your timing. She becomes addicted to the contrast between your calm and her emotion. Because in that calm, she feels something she rarely experiences, a man she cannot control. And that, psychologically, is what triggers pursuit. Every human instinct is wired to chase what feels powerful and scarce. By mastering silence, presence, and power, you become both. She doesn't know if you're losing interest or simply focused. She doesn't know if you're testing her or teaching her. All she knows is that she can't stop thinking about you. You've turned from predictable comfort into psychological gravity. But to sustain that, your silence must come from confidence, not insecurity. The difference is everything. If your silence hides fear, she'll sense weakness. If it comes from power, from knowing you don't need to speak to maintain attention, it becomes hypnotic. You become a storm beneath still water, calm but dangerous, controlled but commanding. Every word you speak carries weight because it's rare. Every look you give becomes meaningful because it's earned. This is why Machiavelli warned against transparency. He believed a leader should reveal just enough to inspire, but never enough to be fully understood. Once people fully understand you, they stop respecting you. Once a woman fully understands you, she stops feeling the spark. The mystery dies, and with it, attraction. So you must protect that mystery like a fortress, not by being cold, but by being composed, not by hiding emotion, but by governing it. In a modern world addicted to oversharing, this discipline makes you stand out instantly. While everyone else tries to prove themselves through constant visibility, you operate from silence. You become the man who doesn't chase, doesn't brag, doesn't compete for attention. And that very restraint makes you magnetic. Because now your energy demands respect. It communicates, I am in control of myself, therefore I control the frame. She'll feel it in the pauses between your words, in the slow way you move, in the quiet confidence of your eyes. That stillness, that detachment, that certainty, it's rare, and rarity is irresistible. She'll lean in, not because you spoke, but because you didn't. She'll follow your lead not because you demanded it, but because your energy makes her want to. Machiavelli's principle isn't ancient philosophy, it's timeless human behavior. Power belongs to the one who appears less affected. Influence belongs to the one who remains calm while others lose composure. Attraction belongs to the one who commands attention without asking for it. That's why you must practice silence until it becomes your weapon, presence until it becomes your aura, and composure until it becomes your nature. When you achieve that, everything shifts. You no longer chase attention. Attention follows you. You no longer seek validation. Validation becomes meaningless. You no longer compete. You stand apart. You become the calm that others crave in a world that can't stop talking. You become the man who doesn't need to prove power, because power speaks through everything you don't say. That is the Machiavellian principle in its purest form.
Every man believes he understands attraction, yet most destroy it the moment it begins. They think they're being genuine, honest, and open. They think by expressing everything they feel, they'll create connection. But what they're really creating is comfort, and comfort kills desire. The hidden mistake of modern men is not that they lack confidence, it's that they lack mystery. They've forgotten that attraction is not built on clarity, but on tension. They reveal too much, too soon. They chase too hard, too often. They confuse emotional exposure with emotional strength. And in doing so, they surrender the one thing that creates true power: uncertainty. Machiavelli understood something about human nature that most people still deny. People don't value what is easily understood or readily available. The more transparent you are, the less power you have. This doesn't mean deception, it means discretion. Because once she completely knows you, once she can predict every reaction, every text, every move, the mystery dies. And when the mystery dies, her curiosity dies with it. Desire feeds on uncertainty, on imagination, on questions that don't have immediate answers. It is the unknown that drives the mind to obsession. The moment you make yourself fully known, you rob her of that chase. The modern world tells men to open up, to express every feeling, to always communicate. But nature never rewarded overexposure. It rewarded restraint. The strongest creatures don't announce their presence, they let their silence speak. The same is true in human attraction. The more you reveal, the more you weaken the pull of your energy. That's the hidden mistake, giving away emotional power in the name of connection. You don't connect by exposing everything. You connect by letting her work for access. You connect by letting her earn each layer, slowly, deliberately, as if she's discovering a secret. That's what builds investment, the sense that she's unlocking something rare. There is an ancient code that governs desire, a primal law that existed long before dating apps and modern psychology. It's written in biology, in the instincts of every human being. Masculine energy creates structure, direction, and stillness. Feminine energy creates movement, curiosity, and emotion. Desire lives in the tension between these two forces. When a man stands firm in his masculine center, calm, grounded, unshaken, he creates polarity, and polarity is the root of attraction. When he becomes reactive, emotional, and uncertain, that polarity collapses. She loses the sense of safety and challenge that her subconscious seeks. She stops chasing because the hunt no longer excites her. The ancient code says that the one who is less emotionally affected holds the frame. This has nothing to do with manipulation. It's psychology. The person who can remain calm during emotional storms controls the rhythm of the interaction. And rhythm is everything. When she's emotional and you're calm, she feels your stability. When she's uncertain and you're still, she feels your strength. When she's loud and you're quiet, she feels your power. The mistake men make is thinking they can argue, explain, or convince their way into attraction. They can't. You don't create desire through words, you create it through energy. Modern dating has reversed the natural order. Men have become the emotional ones, chasing, proving, seeking approval. They text first, text often, text too much. They try to make women like them through comfort instead of tension. But comfort creates friendship, not attraction. You don't want her to feel safe like a brother. You want her to feel drawn to you like a mystery. Machiavelli would call this strategic distance, maintaining just enough separation that she never feels complete control. Because when she feels she can't fully possess you, her instincts push her to chase harder. That's how desire is maintained,
through the illusion of possible loss. Biologically, the chase releases dopamine, the brain's pleasure chemical. That's why people become addicted not to what they have, but to what they're almost certain they can have, yet not quite. When you give her everything immediately, attention, validation, affection, you rob her of that chemical high. You remove the chase, and the absence of that emotional friction makes her lose interest. She doesn't stop liking you because you changed. She stopped because you became predictable. You stopped triggering the primal circuitry that makes pursuit feel rewarding. The more available you are, the less she values your attention. The more selective you are, the more she fights for it. This is why the strongest men in history, kings, generals, thinkers, never chased approval. Their value wasn't in their words, but in their presence. They didn't need to announce their worth. Others simply felt it. Women were drawn to them not because they begged for attention, but because they carried themselves as if attention was irrelevant. That's the essence of masculine dominance. Not aggression, not arrogance, but composure. A man who doesn't need to be liked becomes impossible to forget. A man who doesn't need to be chosen becomes the one everyone wants to choose. To live by the ancient code of desire, you must reclaim your energy. That means detaching your self-worth from outcomes. It means not reacting to every emotion she throws at you. It means being willing to walk away without fear, because walking away is the ultimate demonstration of control. When you're willing to lose her, you win her respect. When you're terrified to lose her, you lose both her respect and her attraction. The frame must always belong to you, and the frame is built from inner stillness. Most men fear silence because they confuse it with rejection. But silence is the language of power. It forces others to fill the space you've created. It keeps you in control. The man who can stay calm while others demand reaction becomes the one everyone wants a response from. That's how kings ruled without raising their voice, how leaders commanded loyalty without chasing it. The less you need to prove, the more others will believe in your power. The modern man must return to this timeless principle. In an era of constant noise, he must learn stillness. In a world of exposure, he must learn mystery. He must understand that not everything deserves an answer. Not every text deserves a reply. Not every emotion requires a reaction. Because power is not in doing more, it's in knowing when to do nothing. When you can hold your ground in silence, when you can stay calm while others panic, when you can maintain emotional control while others lose it, you become magnetic. The hidden mistake is believing love is earned through effort. The truth is, desire is earned through restraint. When you give less, what you give becomes worth more. When you hold back, she leans forward. When you stop chasing, she starts to. That's the ancient code. It has always been this way, and it always will be, because human nature doesn't evolve as fast as technology. The primal mind still governs attraction, and that mind craves tension, uncertainty, and leadership. So stop trying to be understood. Stop explaining yourself. Stop proving your worth. Start embodying it. Be the calm center of the storm, the silence in the noise, the man whose value is so self-evident it doesn't need to be spoken. She will feel that energy before she ever understands it. She will chase it before she can explain why. And that's when the reversal is complete, when she hunts the man who never needed to hunt her.